Awesome. Okay, so this is actually how we start everything off. Since we don't have any questions, I'll go ahead and share my screen so you guys can see our demo unit. And this is, of course, it's branded right now with our ComData platform. The program that we're talking about is the Universal Premium, but it's the exact same thing. It'll just have a different color on the interface. All right. So what I'm going to do is just simply go over everything. And then at the end, if you have any questions I hadn't taken care of, we'll answer those questions at the end. Is that fair?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, so so we'll start with the payment center, right? We always have our available credit info. Once we get your account established, you'll have your line of credit. Since we'll have one account with us, you'll be able just to identify that one account, and they're going to always post your line of credit as the day before. So if you ever just need a quick snapshot of how much you might have spent, you can go right here and just see, this is my line of credit, this is where I am. I think we already talked about getting a line of credit maybe about 50 to 60,000. But just in case you ever want to have a quick look, this is where you go. Online payment will also be here under Payment Center. This just states that a third party actually verifies our payment for us. Our company is not a bank, so we don't have that direct connection. But it's just saying that a third party verifies it. And once we get started in there, your invoice will always be right here in front of you. So it'll just tell you what you owe. You just hit payments. Once you actually set in the payment where you want the payment to come from, you can save it in there and just go and push the payment to us. I always say do it the day before 2 p.m. All right. I can close this out. And then with pretty much your day-to-day activity will always be under the word manage. So we click manage. We're going to click the word cards to actually pull up all the cards and card maintenance. Now, based on how we set your cards up, I know you guys probably have a few different divisions on how you might want to track expenses for each card or how they're spending. We consider those customer IDs. So we can have as many customer IDs as you need to. Like here we have executives, office managers, drivers. You might have service, construction, mechanic, however you want to identify that. And we can also put a GL code in the system as well, because all of our ports do come down in Excel. So we'll be able to kind of put that information so you can upload it into whatever software you guys are using for your accounting. All right. So once we identify, we're just going to pull up all the cards for this particular account. And this is actually our demo account. So all of these are actual managers and people that work with our company. So my view is more of a view-only access, because if they gave me the regular access, I might cut off my boss card for no reason in case he upsets me. But so this just shows all the cards that are active in the system, and it gives the last transaction that might have happened. So this is just a quick snapshot. But anytime you want to control any functionality for that card, we'll just hit the word edit. And it gives us control over this particular card. So right now, this is Steven Steinberg's card. That's his employee PIN number. If someone was to call and say, I lost my card, we can go right here with the word status, and we can go and block the card. Now, if they call you back 3 hours later and say, hey, it was in my left pocket, not my right pocket, I found it again, we can go back and reactivate it. But if we do hit the word fraud or stolen, it completely kills the card. So that means we'll have to order another card. Not a big deal on our side. We do ship it 2-day express, and we ship it on our dime, but it will throw off the reporting for a while until that new card arrives. Okay? Also, we talked about different purchasing profiles that can be set up in the system in case you have guys that you want to have more flexibility, and then some people want to have, closer or tighter controls. So we have different purchasing profiles that we'll create based on what we're comfortable with. So as we go over the setup process here in the next few weeks, we'll be sure we set up the profile that's comfortable for everyone. Some of you guys, you might just want to be fuel and fuel only. Some of them you might just want to be pay at pump only, meaning I just don't want them to buy gas at the gas pump. I don't want them to be able to do anything inside. We can have those controls in place. The good thing with the purchasing profile, let's say if you have a guy that might have traveled out of town and he blew a tire, right? He said, okay, well, I'm out of town. I blew a tire. It's going to be $400 to get me a new tire. You can actually go here and move him to a different profile. that we might set up for, let's say, $1,000 maintenance transaction. Once you put him in that profile, he now gets immediate access to that transaction. So he can be standing at the register needing to get that transaction done. You can click it right here. 30 to 40 seconds later, he can go ahead and run his transaction. So it gives just a little emergency just in case something is going on that you'll be able to get that worked out for him. Okay? Also, we do put certain limitations on the cards based on the number of transactions per day and the dollar amount. So we're just going to go view what this particular overall limits are. So this card here can get 3 transactions a day for no more than $150 per transaction. So that's the limits that's already preset on the card. And again, it's not one size fits all, so if we need a little bit more for a bigger vehicle, we can have that kind of set up already in the system. And if for some reason that, let's say Stephen needed another transaction, say if he called and said, hey, I'm traveling back, I have, the backhoe on the back of my truck, I'm using more fuel than I need to, you can go and recycle his limits without necessarily having to change his profile. So if you have it set for 2 transactions a day or 3 transactions a day, once you click recycle limits, it gives him another 2 transactions. Now the transactions automatically recycle every 24 hours, but this one just gives you the ability to say, he talked to me, I understand what's going on, he needs some more transactions. So we can give him that flexibility right there. All right, and then the last thing we'll look at, because most of your cards will be assigned to the driver, is that correct? So they'll have the driver's name on the card. Is that how you guys are currently doing it, correct?
It is correct.
Okay, so that flexibility happens all right here, even if we want to set it up for them to be able to do supplies or something different, maybe a little further on in the future. We'll be able to have those different profiles set right here that we can set it up for purchasing at Lowe's and Home Depot, or if you have a guy that's going out of town and he might need to be able to stay at a hotel, we'll have that flexibility because we have the MasterCard, but you'll still have control over what that person's able to do. So we can make it as tight as you like, or we can make it as flexible as you like. And then the last thing we'll look at are the transactions. So we have real-time transaction history. So anything that happens on the card will pop up on this particular portion of the website 2 to 3 minutes later. And every time we look here, all right, you always see here where it says posted. It either say posted, authorized, or decline. So it'll tell you everything that's going on with the particular card. Authorized means the transaction just happened, but it will probably post the next day just like a regular credit card would. But if you do have a person that has a decline, like this one here said declined at a QT, we can click the word declined, and it will tell us why it was declined. So right here it's saying decline message was cardholder ID is invalid, meaning they put in the wrong PIN number. And right here it actually shows you what they actually prompted and put in. So if there's ever a time where a guy's saying, well, I'm doing the right PIN number, you can say, well, this is what you're actually typing in, and this is why it's getting declined. With most of you guys, because they're used to their PIN number, you probably shouldn't have this issue too often, but if it ever happens, it's one of the things that you can go back and check and see. And with our program, if they do enter their PIN number in incorrectly 3 times, it's going to automatically lock the card because the system is thinking that someone might have picked the card up at the gas station and just trying to figure out a PIN number so they can get some free gas. So our security is very tight. But if they do happen to lock it, you can go back and recycle the limits and go ahead and give them the transactions in case it's legitimately he just fat fingering the number at the pump. All right. And then, of course, we do have our report section. This is our reporting. And report queue comes with the membership, and these are our quick reports. So these are all the standard reports that come with your system. As you can see, this is probably way more information than you probably really want, but you can identify the ones that best fit or suited for you. Most of my customers, I recommend the vehicle report because this is the report that can match your invoicing. Because when they do send you the invoice, they're going to send you a total, they're going to send you a summary page, giving the total amount that was spent, and then they're going to break down the transactions based on the entire company. Then they'll break it down per department or customer ID. Then they'll break it down per individual. this report will match what they send you, except you can pull it for an extended time frame. For example, instead of pulling it for a month, you might be able to pull it for about 3 months. Or if you want to identify a specific person and say, hey, this person's doing a little more spending, let me narrow down, kind of just key in on what this particular individual is doing, just to be sure everything is going right. You know, I'm sure you guys got great people that you hire, but my daddy always told me I got to inspect what I expect. So I expect you to do the right thing, but every now and then I'm going to call to check just to be sure you say where you're going to be. And the good thing with this system is that all these reports do come down in Excel. So this is where you can get the information. We'll see if we can pull one here. Let's go back a month. Don't do a lot of transactions with this particular one. Most of these guys are executives, so they don't do a lot of traveling on this system.
Can you pull one of those reports for an entire year, or is it just the last few months?
It will allow you to pull it for, I think it depends on the number of transactions. We keep all of the data on your online system for 14 months. Anything past 14 months, customer service can pull for you.
Okay.
All right, so this is that particular report right here. Let me move this out the way. Enable editing. All right, so as you can see, it has all the information, probably a lot more than you'd be looking for, but because it's in Excel, you get the opportunity to kind of cut and paste what's important to you. So time and date of the transaction, time of the transaction, the date and the location, city, state, everything about the merchant, the person that ran the transaction, their employee numbers. We don't necessarily put in a license plate and all that in our reporting, but we can. Then, of course, we do the odometer reading, so we do track the miles per gallon and cost per mile report. Again, these are some of the managers and executives that don't put enough information in for it to calculate, but it also gives product type per gallon, breaks everything down for your gross amount, discount that came with it. So your discounts will show right here on this report as well for those transactions. And then we have the hierarchy.
Are you seeing the report right now?
Oh, you guys are not seeing it? Yes, I am. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm still sharing the wrong screen. Hold on. I got to go back and share Excel. Here's the report. Bam. You guys can see it now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So, yep, sorry about that. So, again, this is the details. This is the customer ID, or what we would say the departments that you guys will have in there, how we have it labeled, whether it be construction or service. The details for each transaction, the locations of where they spent. Here is the employees that did the transactions and their PIN numbers. We don't necessarily track with ours a license plate, but we can put all that information in the system if you think it's important to you. Or we can put some other information on miscellaneous fields for other tracking. Again, I think it's all about reporting and what's important to you. Then, of course, we have the odometer reading that will pull out the miles per gallon, the cost per mile and the miles driven in between, which helps our miles per gallon report. The details of the actual product broken down and the discounts that they got at those locations. And then we have 10 other hierarchies that we can put in there for reporting for things that you might feel is important to you.
So Chuck, like on the license plate, I don't think we would want to do that, but we have vehicle numbers and we would want to track. How does that information get in there?
Well, it depends on how we do it. So this particular account, we have vehicle cards and driver cards. So with vehicle cards, of course, it has the vehicle information on it. With driver cards, it has the driver's information on it. So if we're using driver cards, I think how we say we're going to set this account up, it's going to always require their PIN number, and it's also going to require the odometer reading. So if the guys do switch vehicles, kind of based on their project or their work for that day, it won't be able to necessarily pinpoint an accurate miles per gallon report because it doesn't know what vehicle they're getting in. Y'all follow me?
But if we did a vehicle card, would it lock it to that specific vehicle, or?
If we did do vehicle cards, yes, it will lock it to that specific vehicle, and we'll have what's called a pool pin. So that means if one of your drivers gets into that card, the card will actually say truck 22 or truck 84, however you identify your vehicles. And regardless of which driver got into that particular vehicle, their PIN number will work on that vehicle. So it's called a pool pin. So it was showing the report, truck 22 was fueled by Tom, Frank, Jeff, and Chuck on our reporting. So again, that's the way we can get the most accurate miles per gallon, because every time they go, it's going to they have to put their PIN number in to authorize the transaction. Then they have to put the odometer in so we can track that reporting. So it does give us a little more tighter niche on saying this vehicle is operating properly, all your fuel went into this particular vehicle and didn't get switched around. So kind of based on whichever direction you guys want to go in. I know currently they have with their WEX card, they have the driver information on, and they keep the card with them. This will be a little change in culture because we'd have to make sure they left the card with the vehicle. That make sense?
It does. Is it possible to do a mix of the two?
We can do a mix of the two. So I'll show you guys how online system does that. Let me go back here and return the inputs. Okay, so with this particular account, they do have it set up. Back to reports, go close this, go back to Iconnect. Okay, so when we go back and look at the cards, we do have these cards set up as some vehicle cards and some driver cards. So it's not like a one-size-fit-all. We can kind of adjust it based on what you need. And so hold on, let me just pull them up here so I can find a vehicle card really quick. That didn't pull them all up. Let's start over. Card maintenance and not executives. We want to pull them all. Okay, so this particular card right here where it says Unit F 150 type vehicle it is. So this is a vehicle card, all right? So you can see it has the vehicle information on. It's active and ready to go. So anyone that has access to fuel with this particular account, their PIN number will work on this card. So whether it would be myself, Steven Steinberg, the other name we've seen in the system, their PIN number will work, and next to each one of their transactions for this card, his name or my name or the individual will pop up.
Okay, that's what you meant by pool pin. You didn't mean one number for everybody. You meant pooling the pins under a vehicle.
Correct. So we'll go under Fleet Assets where we have our list of pool pins, and we'll hit Cardholder ID. So right now, these are all the individuals with their particular PIN number, and their PIN number will work on whatever vehicle they get in. And anytime there's say if you, for example, fire an employee, instead of having to get a new card, we'll just delete their PIN number. And that card will still stay with the vehicle. Did that make sense?
Does. I'd help on the big trucks.
Awesome. Any other questions we got with that? Nope. All right, Therese, you got any questions? You got kind of quiet over there, and it looked like you're thinking about something.
I was just thinking about the, if we have a card assigned to a vehicle, and then I'm going to borrow that vehicle and go home. I'm out of habit going to pull my card out of my wallet, and therefore it's not going to reflect to that vehicle, correct? I would have to use a card for that vehicle to track it.
You'd have to have a card for that vehicle to track it. That's why I was thinking we keep the same format that you guys currently have with the guy's name on the card, because that's what the guys are used to. I do think that the reporting would be much better, much cleaner, and the controls will be a little tighter if we did vehicle cards. So it kind of depends on the pain of adjusting the culture, right? It's a coaching opportunity to adjust the guys, because once they start doing it, it will kind of be like clockwork. But it will take a bit of an adjustment because that's not what they're used to doing every single day. They're used to putting the card into their pocket because that's what they normally do. Where instead they'd have to say the fuel card goes in the glove compartment or it goes in the visor, or we attach it to a key ring and attach the key to the vehicle to the card. For example, let me show you. I got a few of these for my customer. So, Ram, when you guys turn in your keys every night, do you guys turn in your keys every night, or do y'all have a board that you keep your keys on, or how do you guys keep up with the key for the
We
vehicle
keep up
right
with
now?
spare keys, but for all of our big stuff, we have multiple keys, and guys just keep them on their key ring.
They
keep
drive
on the
these
key.
vehicles home every night, so that, as great as this would be, if we could track per vehicle, it would be a nightmare, because these cards, for the most part, these guys, they're assigned their trucks. We only have a few vehicles, like with our, the large lowboy, that we have a couple drivers that switch between them.
The
But,
two tons.
Yeah,
And
but
those are the ones
everybody
that
else has an assigned vehicle that they drive home every night. and drive
Okay.
to work.
Well, then the driver card will still work very effective. If they drive that same vehicle pretty much every day, then that system is still very, very efficient. Even if you still need a few vehicle cards, if you say, especially for your guys to go over the road, do you guys have to do the IFTA reporting for your low boy and everything that goes over state lines?
The IFTA
Yes.
reporting, yes.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay, so we do have a report called our excise tax report that can track those specific vehicles. They do need to be vehicle cards, though, because the report's going to pull all the transactions for that particular vehicle, and then our reporting is going to break it down by state. It's going to break it down how much they paid in taxes in each state, all on a spreadsheet for you. So I'm sure you guys might have a system already in place, but if that's something that could put a little more time back into your life, we want to be as efficient as possible. We can get, for those, 5 or 6 vehicles, we can be sure we get them with a vehicle card, and we'll have a key ring that can attach the card to that particular key. And now we know this card goes with this vehicle, and every time they fuel up. And our reporting can pull that quarterly. If you do the quarterly, or if you do it semi-annually, we'll have all that information already calculated and provided for you. Sounds good?
Okay.
Awesome. Any other questions? Anything else we have with the online system? Did I catch everything you're looking for, Teresa, or is there something else you want me to show you?
Yeah, it looked pretty user-friendly.
Yeah, once you get in there, it's hard to mess anything up.
seems like the initial setup would take quite a bit of work.
Yeah, so the process is real simple. So we just have an application to kind of get everything set up with our accounting department and our credit department. That takes about 3 or 4 days in credit. Then, of course, I'll send over a spreadsheet to help set up the initial, how we want the card set up. So we'll talk about the different profiles, the different individuals that go in each one. But the spreadsheet I send over is going to be kind of user-friendly, where we're just cutting and pasting the information in. Once we do that, I will submit everything. It takes about 2 weeks to have the cards made and sent to you. Then we'll set up another time for me to come by and go over the online system with you again, just to say, okay, this is how you order a card, this is how you turn off a card. I'm with you through the entire process to be sure we get everything running smoothly. Because, again, once it's in place and you use it a while, it kind of takes care of itself. It's not one of the things that you have to manage a lot. It should be more, it manages it for you. If something's wrong, it's going to email you and let you know. Other than that, you just got to wait and pull your invoice.
Okay, if we were to decide to do this, and in 6 months I have an issue, do I call you, or are you going to send me to customer service?
In 6 months, you can always call me. I'm pretty much hands-on with all my clients. The only difference is with this particular program, because it's a MasterCard, I don't have access to see your account. So if you call me and say, could you make this change? I can, but I have to send it over to customer service because they're behind the firewall and they have access to your account. So I can see very, very minimal stuff on your account. Is that because the only reason I can see this account is because it's a demo account. But in most cases, I won't be able to see it. So most of you will call me for it, and most of the times when you call me, we're going to be able to walk through it online. I can just talk to you on the phone and tell you where to click and what changes you might need to make, kind of based on what it is. Or if it's something that might be a little bigger, I send over to customer service and get them to work that out.
Okay.
She just doesn't
Chuck,
want you, doesn't want you to disappear on us, Chuck.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not going anywhere. I understand that process too.
You just want one person to yell at is what she's saying.
Oh, okay. All right, there we go.
I don't yell very often.
No, in all seriousness, I mean, you know the drill. Sometimes when you have someone that deals with you, they know you better than the 5 different random people you get calling customer service, and you spend half an hour explaining it every time. So,
100%.
More. We've had some things where we have someone like you, and we get set up, and then all of a sudden you get lost in a sea of customer service and spend a half a day for something that someone like you could have fixed in 10 minutes. So.
Exactly. Yeah, I would actually prefer you call me before you call customer service, because most likely it's something that you can do. Our system is very user-friendly to give the customer more control, because if you send it over to me, a lot of times I am doing this. You know, I do webinars. My phone rung 3 times since I've been sitting right here right now. So when I'm engaged with my client, I like to give you guys my full attention. But, of course, I do call everybody back as soon as we're done. And a lot of times, like I came and met with you guys face-to-face, I'm in the field a lot. So that's where I prefer to be, is working with the clients, showing them the program, getting everything set up and moving for them. But I do call back within not even 24 hours, probably about 4 or 5, if it's a very busy day.
Okay. Good to know.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you
Anything
very
else?
much. I have
Not
nothing.
a problem. Oh, I also want to let you guys know our company was running promotions, because I think we're going in a good direction right now. They're running a promotion that they're giving an additional discount or an additional rebate on top of what we talked about, where it's up to 6 cents off a gallon. For any of our customers to get started this month, it's up to 10 cents off a gallon. So they're giving a 3-month promo of giving an additional 4 cents off a gallon to our rebate. Just based on the summertime, we have this pandemic going on, so we're trying to help out as many of our customers as possible to go ahead and, ease the pain of what's going on. Our world is going through a change, so we like to help out where we can.
There's no end in sight to this pandemic. You think you can lock us in for that discount for a year?
That would be a no. That would be a no. I don't think they're going to do that. I was shocked they did it right now.
There's a lot coming down the pipe.
Yeah, I was shocked they did it right now, because that's very big based on what our company does and how we make money. That's a big discount that they're offering. They don't do that very, very often. So I don't like to dangle things, but it seems like we're already on a good pace and a good path to make a good decision. So all we have to do in order to get that is have the application in before the end of the month. We can do the setup next month, but as long as the application hit before August, then we're good.
So that discount will carry through the end of the year then?
It carries for 3 months, so if we do in August, that would be, we'll probably get started right towards the middle of September, October, November. Yeah, just right through the end of the year.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome. Anything else you guys need from me?
I'm good. You?
Not right now, man. Appreciate you.
Not a problem at all. Well, let me know if any other questions come up. Teresa, what would you like most about the website? I just want to kind of get a gauge on, because I know you'll probably be the one that's more active, interactive with it on a daily basis. What would you like most about it?
Well, I don't know yet. I have to get in there and really see it. It looks like it's a little bit more detailed than what we're currently using. Looks like
Okay.
it's drilled down more specifically than we currently can. So.
Well, that works.
I
Well,
got
what's
one
going to be a
more
good
question.
day?
I got
Go
one more
ahead.
question, Chuck. I'm piggybacking off of that. So it does look like it's more detail oriented, but as with any computer program, the information out is only as good as the information in. So
100% correct.
as we go through the functionality, are we able to, as the months and years go on, I realize there are certain account things that'll be locked, but we'll be able, reporting wise, we'll be able to go in, either talking with you over the phone or just practicing ourselves, and add information and get those reports even more detailed. Like, I could decide 6 months down the road that I want to add license plate numbers, right?
Right, you can. So we can go back in and add tag information, but the tag information to go if we had vehicle cards, because the tag will be assigned to a vehicle, not a person.
Okay.
So we can go back
Well,
and
that
add
was an example, that was an
information.
example, but for all
Yeah.
those hierarchies you showed, we can continue to build it if we
Mhm.
think we're getting better at it and we've got more time, we want more information.
And you see what's important to you. Yeah. So we do have flexibility. This is probably our most robust system with Iconnect. So a lot of my companies that have 200, 300 vehicles, this is the exact same program they use, so we can grow as your company grows. With you guys, continuing to grow. I think the last time you guys have 10, 12 more vehicles than we did the first time we talked. So I know that growth is going to continue to happen. That's why I thought this one would be a good fit because it can grow and adjust to how you guys will probably be adjusting and growing as well.
So if we decided that we want to do a mix of personal cards and vehicle cards, let's say we wanted to, this is just an example. Say we want to do vehicle cards for our big trucks. We got 5 or 6 of them.
Correct?
And then we get out of the trucking business and we sell the big trucks and we've just got light duty personnel trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Then that we can just ebb and flow, right? We can get rid of the vehicle cards and do okay.
Yep. Adjustments very, very simple. And then I'll be with you in that process just to be sure we get the adjustments done correctly. Since I know how the accounts and everything's set up, we'll always be in communication for any kind of adjustments or reporting change that you need. We'll be sure we stay in contact to be sure that happens and we know the importance of it. Sound good? Awesome. So
That made me think of one other, I'm sorry, we won't keep this going, but I do just one more
oh,
question.
no, it's all good. This is why we're here.
Let's say, we're talking a lot about the fuel, but let's say that we set this up, that we wanted to be able to use it, say, at Home Depot.
Mm-hmm.
What would be would that PIN number that we use, are they gonna have to use that when they use it at Home Depot, or would it just be like a regular credit card at that point?
They will still enter in a PIN number, and they'll also be required to put in a PO number. So it's still going to ask for that information when they go, yes, to authorize the transaction. And that will still limit, the dollar amount will still be limited, as well as the number of transactions that we have open for them to be able to do that. And again, that can be specific to a certain group of individuals. So if you just say, I just need my 8 foremen to have that flexibility right now, we'll just give that to them. And, we'll set the limitation so they'll know if they can spend $500, if they spend $502, it will decline. If they try to spend, it's a dollar amount, which is great because it's exact. So, we know what's flexible, and then of course we can adjust as you feel more comfortable with your drivers and more people. We'll create more profiles for them.
Okay. So same PIN number, but we would put a PO instead of mileage.
Correct. Great question. Any other questions? No? Awesome. So I guess from this particular point, all we just got to figure out is when we want to get started and kind of get everything moving.
It's up to close.
we have to go with to see we
You
get
gotta
started.
stay positive, right, baby?
We have to go with the positive moving forward. I do know it's all about adjustment, so it's not a rush. But I do want to, if we can't possibly lock that in, that 10 cents a gallon. I thought that was amazing. They made that announcement earlier this month. I was like, man, I got a few people that can benefit from that. So let's be sure we get those conversations in. So
we have two other people. We have 2 other people that we want to run this by before we make a final decision.
Sounds good. Awesome.
We can do that by the end of this week, Bobby. We should be able to do that by the end of this week. So then I will shoot you an email. Maybe they're not going to be here.
Well, he's gone right now, so.
We'll take care of it on our end.
And
Yeah.
we'll get back with you and kind of let you know where we're at least.
Yeah. We just got to get everybody on the same train here. So.
Awesome. And just in case, because I would hate to ask you to do my job. So if you need me to come in and explain the program to them, I don't mind, and it will be probably a much quicker conversation since we've already identified the program. I don't have to ask a lot of probing questions. I can just say, hey, this is what we do. This is how it works. This is going to be your benefit. Any questions you got for me? And then I can answer the questions instead of putting you guys in position to try to do my job. So I have no problem with coming back over and doing that either. Just let me know what's a good day.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Touch base with you next week. Y'all have a great one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.